Imagine a land where golden temples rise above the morning mist, where the air smells of jasmine and lemongrass, and the particular sweetness of incense burning at a shrine on a street corner, where the food is so good and so immediate and so alive with flavor that the first bite of something you have never eaten before feels like a memory you somehow already had. Thailand is not just a destination. It is a full sensory immersion in a country that has spent 3,000 years perfecting the art of being exactly what it is. From the gilded spires and ancient canals of Bangkok to the mountain temples of Chiang Mai draped in mist, from the limestone karst islands of the Andaman Sea, rising straight from turquoise water to the rice paddies of the north, turning gold in the November harvest light, every part of this country gives you something that cannot be found at the same intensity anywhere else. A culture rooted in Buddhist faith and royal tradition. A hospitality so natural and so consistent that it stops feeling like a cultural characteristic and starts feeling like the country's default setting. A beauty distributed so evenly across every landscape and every plate of food and every moment of the day that you stop being surprised by it and start simply being grateful for it. This is not just travel. This is wonder. This is your journey through the unforgettable beauty of Thailand. Bangkok. Our journey begins in Bangkok, a city of 10 million people that generates the density of experience of a city twice that size. A place where temples and skyscrapers and floating markets and rooftop bars and street food carts all occupy the same geography without apparent contradiction. Bangkok does not offer itself gradually. It offers everything immediately at full volume, and the only appropriate response is to surrender to it. Wat Pho is where the surrender usually begins. The Temple of the Reclining Buddha holds a gilded figure 46 meters long and 15 meters high, its feet inlaid with mother of pearl in patterns so intricate that the eyes move across them without finding a place to rest. The scale of the sculpture, filling the entire length of the building that houses it, the toes alone taller than a person, is one of those encounters where the intellectual preparation for what you are about to see makes no practical difference to the impact of arriving inside it. Wat Pho Kaew, within the Grand Palace complex, holds the most sacred Buddhist image in Thailand. The Emerald Buddha, sitting on its throne high above the gilded hall, its seasonal golden garments changed 3 times a year by the king himself. The surrounding complex of pavilions and prangs and gilded chedi and mosaic-covered guardian demons, accumulated over 2.5 centuries of royal devotion, is almost hallucinatorily ornate. The kind of place where the eye cannot settle because there is detail at every level and in every direction. The Chao Phraya River is the original artery of the city, and the long-tail boats that race along it, their roar audible above the city traffic, their elongated propeller shafts churning the brown water to white foam, carry the city's working life along a waterway that has been doing this for longer than the roads existed. At dawn, the river reveals a quieter Bangkok. Monks in orange robes receiving alms from riverbank households, the first market boats moving upstream, the gilded temple spires catching the early light on the opposite bank. The street food of Bangkok is the standard against which street food everywhere else in the world is measured. Pad Thai from a wok over a flame so high, the noodles catch and caramelize at the edges. Tom Yum Goong, whose hot and sour and oceanic complexity arrives in the first spoonful and stays. Mango sticky rice, glutinous rice and coconut cream, warm served with cold ripe mango and toasted sesame, which is what dessert was always trying to become. Ayutthaya. An hour north of Bangkok, the ruins of Ayutthaya sit in a loop of river that was once the moat of one of the largest cities in the 17th century world. At its peak, Ayutthaya had a population of 1 million people, larger than London at the same period. A city of gilded temples, royal palaces, and canals so dense they rivaled Amsterdam. The Burmese destroyed it in 1767, and what the fire left behind is now one of the most haunting archaeological landscapes in Southeast Asia. The stone prangs of Ayutthaya rise from lotus ponds in a landscape where the ancient and the natural have been renegotiating their boundary for 2.5 centuries. Headless Buddha statues sit in the long grass between the ruins of temple halls, whose roofs long ago surrendered to the sky. The roots of a Bodhi tree have grown slowly around a stone Buddha head over several centuries, lifting it into the living structure of the trunk. Holding it there, suspended in the wood, in one of the most quietly extraordinary natural and human collaborations available to witness anywhere in the world. Walking through Wat Pho in the late afternoon, when the tour groups have left and the light falls at a low angle through the ruins, with the pigeons moving through the broken archways above and the silence of the old city settling around the stone, is to be inside a place where the past does not feel distant. It feels paused. A civilization stopped mid-sentence here, and the stones have been settling quietly ever since. Chiang Mai. "700 kilometers north of Bangkok, where the central plains give way to the first folds of the mountains that continue into Myanmar and Laos, Chiang Mai is Thailand's second city in importance and its first in atmosphere. The moated old city at its center holds temples of considerable age and beauty in a neighborhood of teak houses and quiet lanes, where the pace of life operates at a register entirely different from Bangkok's intensity. Wat Pho stands in the old city quarter. Its Wihan Lai Kam Pavilion, housing the revered Phra Buddha, its gilded wooden structure with multi-tiered roof and broad eaves representing the Lana architectural style of the northern kingdoms, distinct from the Khmer-influenced temples of the south. In the early morning, before the city fully wakes, the monks walk the surrounding lanes for alms, and the temple courtyards hold a quiet that the later hours do not repeat. Doi Suthep rises above the city to the west, its temple visible from the streets below as a point of gold against the forested summit. The staircase of 309 steps, lined with ceramic Naga balustrades, leads to the golden shetty at the top, and the view from its terrace over the city and the plain and the mountains beyond, the whole northern landscape spread below in the morning clarity, is one of the great prospects of northern Thailand. The Sunday walking street on Walai Road and the night bazaar of the city center constitute the finest craft market experience in Thailand. Hand-woven textiles from hill tribe communities in the surrounding mountains, lacquerware, silverwork, the hand-painted umbrellas of the nearby Bo Sang village that has been producing them for generations. At the markets, the craftspeople sit beside their work, and the work is genuinely theirs. And the difference between that and a souvenir is something the hands know immediately. The islands. Fly south from Bangkok, and the land below narrows to the long, thin finger of the Thai peninsula. And then the water begins on both sides, the Gulf of Thailand to the east and the Andaman Sea to the west. And the islands appear below, scattered like fragments of green stone and blue water. Their limestone karst formations rising straight from the sea in shapes that the geological forces of their formation arranged with an apparent indifference to what was possible. Phang Nga Bay spreads north of Phuket. An expanse of emerald water studded with limestone islands, whose vertical walls rise 100 and 300 meters from the surface. Their overhangs sheltering lagoons called hongs, accessible only by kayak at the right tide. The enclosed water of each hong lit from above in a color that the surrounding rock amplifies and intensifies until the blue seems to come from the water itself rather than from the sky above it. The beaches of the south are where the particular quality of Thai island light is most fully present. The way the morning comes up over the water without preamble. The way the afternoon builds its heat to a point that sends everyone into the shade. The way the evening comes down over the same water with a softness that the morning did not have. The long white curve of a beach backed by jungle. The long-tail boats anchored in the shallow water offshore. The fishermen moving along the wet sand at low tide. These are images that the camera keeps making and that the eye keeps wanting. Koh Tao in the Gulf of Thailand offers diving in waters whose visibility can exceed 30 meters on calm days. its coral gardens and the whale sharks that pass through, seasonally making it one of the finest dive destinations in Southeast Asia. The full moon party of Koh Phangan lights the beach every month with fire and music under the rising moon. The Similan Islands in the Andaman Sea hold some of the most pristine coral reefs in Asia, their marine life dense and unhurried in the clear water above them. The temples and the faith. Buddhism in Thailand is not a heritage feature or a weekend practice. It is the organizing principle of daily life. Present in the early morning alms round where saffron-robed monks walk through every neighborhood at dawn and householders kneel to offer food. Present in the spirit houses outside, every building receiving daily offerings of flowers and incense. Present in the why. The pressed palms greeting that acknowledges the divine in every person it addresses. The temple complex of Sukhothai, the first capital of the Thai kingdom, founded in the 13th century, its ruins now spread across a historical park where the ancient ponds and prangs and seated Buddhas occupy the same ground they were placed on 700 years ago, represents the earliest flowering of what would become Thai Buddhist art. The enormous walking Buddha of Wat Pho, its right hand raised in the gesture of reassurance, its face holding the particular expression of the Sukhothai sculptors that combines serenity and warmth in a way that no subsequent period of Thai art replicated exactly. Is the image that the kingdom left behind as its fullest statement. The Loi Krathong festival, held on the full moon of the 12th lunar month, most years in November, releases thousands of paper lanterns into the night sky above Chiang Mai. They rise slowly, heated from below, their orange glow moving upward through the dark, each one a small prayer sent on a current of warm air into the space above the city. From below, the sky fills with hundreds and then thousands of moving lights, drifting south and fading slowly to points of amber at the edge of sight. It is one of the most beautiful things that human hands produce on a regular basis, and the regularity of it. Every year, the same city, the same sky, the same light rising, gives it a quality that a once-in-a-lifetime spectacle cannot have. Thai food. The food of Thailand is built on balance, the simultaneous presence of sweet, sour, salty, and hot in every dish, calibrated so precisely that the removal of any element collapses the whole. A bowl of tom kha gai, coconut milk soup with galangal and chicken and kaffir lime leaves, is not a combination of ingredients. It is a chord, played in perfect resolution, every component audible and none of them dominant. Thai cooks working street-side woks achieve this balance at speed, overheat that would challenge a professional kitchen, tasting with a spoon and adjusting with instincts that years of practice have made faster than thought. The morning market in any Thai town or village reveals the raw ingredients of this cuisine in their most immediate form. The galangal and lemongrass and kaffir lime leaves cut fresh, the chilies arranged by size and heat, the morning glory and Thai basil still carrying the moisture of the night. The vendors who have been here since before dawn will be gone by the time the sun clears the rooftops, and the food they produce from these ingredients will be eaten by the time the morning is finished. Som tam, green papaya salad pounded in a clay mortar with fish sauce and palm sugar and fresh chili and dried shrimp and lime, is a dish of violent freshness that recalibrates the palate entirely and makes everything eaten before it tastes slightly apologetic. It is made to order every time, the mortar and pestle doing the work in front of you, the sound of the pounding part of the sensory package. The result is different every time, because the hand that makes it is different every time, and the papaya and the lime and the chilies are different every time. And the combination of those variables produces something that cannot be standardized. The evening brings the night market, the stalls arranging themselves as the light fails, the grills heating, the woks going on the burners, the whole apparatus of the Thai street food economy assembling itself in the space of an hour and operating through the night with an efficiency and a quality that no restaurant with a fixed address has ever reliably matched. The river life. Beyond the cities and the islands, Thailand's rivers carry their own version of the country's life. The Ping, the Wang, the Yom, the Nan, the four tributaries that join in the central plains to form the Chao Phraya, drain the mountain north through a landscape of rice paddies and teak forests and riverside temples whose reflections lie in the slow brown water below them. The rice paddies of the central plains, flooded and planted in the wet season, drained and harvested in the dry, produce a landscape of extraordinary seasonal beauty. The brilliant green of the young shoots in July, the gold of the ready harvest in November, the bare earth of the post-harvest fields waiting for the next planting. The Mae Klong River Market at Amphoa, west of Bangkok, the train that runs through the middle of the market, the vendors folding their awnings to let it pass and reopening them behind it as it clears. The whole sequence performed at low speed with the practiced calm of people who have been doing this for longer than the tourists have been watching, is one of those places where the ordinary and the extraordinary have become so thoroughly mixed that neither word applies anymore. It is simply what happens here, and it happens every day, and the life of the market continues around and through the passage of the train with a composure that is its own form of theater. The floating markets of the central region, the vendors in broad straw hats, the wooden boats loaded with fruit and vegetables and cooked food, the narrow klongs lined with wooden houses on stilts whose residents have been doing their commerce by water for generations, preserve a form of trade that the roads and the supermarkets have made economically redundant in most of Thailand, and that these markets maintain because the tradition is genuine, and the food is good, and the canal is still there, and the boats still float. The coconut pancakes cooked on the cast iron griddle in the boat at the water's edge. The boat noodle soup, its broth dark and sweet and deep, served in a bowl so small that the only reasonable response is to order 3 more immediately. The north in the cool season, November through February, when the mountain air is clear and cold enough in the mornings that a light jacket is not an affectation, is the time when the landscapes of Chiang Mai and the surrounding hills are at their most beautiful. The trekking routes through the hill tribe villages of the Mae Hong Son Loop, the elephant conservation areas in the forests above the city, the night markets of the old town lit by lanterns in the November cold, all of it operating at the particular clarity that cool air and low light produce in a landscape that spends the rest of the year in heat and humidity. Thailand in every season is Thailand. But Thailand in the cool season in the north, with the mist on the mountains in the morning, and the temple drums at dawn, and the smell of wood smoke from the hill village cooking fires, and the stars clear above the teak forest at night. This is the version that stays with you most completely, and the one that the returning traveler always wants to find again. The elephants. No creature is more woven into the story of Thailand than the elephant. For centuries, the elephant carried the kingdom's timber through the teak forests of the north, fought in its battles, carried its kings through the streets of its capitals. The white elephant, rare, sacred, the possession of kings, was the symbol of royal power and divine favor. And the number of white elephants a king possessed was understood as a direct measure of the merit he had accumulated across his lifetimes. The ethical elephant sanctuaries of the Chiang Mai hills represent the current chapter of that long relationship. The shift from working animal and performance subject to something closer to what the elephant actually is. A creature of high intelligence and complex social bonds and long memory, capable of grief and play, and the kind of sustained attention that most animals do not demonstrate, and that the elephant directs in the sanctuary toward the humans it has come to know. Watching an elephant family move through the forest, the matriarch leading, the younger animals following, the smallest ones staying close to the adults in the instinctive formation of a herd that knows exactly where it is going, is to watch a social intelligence operating at a scale and a depth that changes the way the word animal feels in the mouth. The Mahout tradition, the hereditary bond between an elephant and its handler, passed from father to son across generations, the handler knowing the animal's history and temperament and preferences as intimately as a family member, is one of the oldest continuous human-animal relationships in the world. In the sanctuaries where it continues, the elephant chooses the company of its mahat, not because it is required to, but because the relationship, built over years of daily contact, has produced something that the word trust describes only partially. Thailand is not just a country you visit, it is a country that feeds you, in every sense of the word. It feeds your eyes with the gold of its temples and the turquoise of its sea. It feeds your ears with the sound of monks chanting at dawn, and long-tail boats racing across the bay, and the rhythmic thud of the pestle in the mortar. It feeds your palate with the most precisely balanced and immediately addictive food on earth. And it feeds something deeper than all of these. The part of travel that is about more than seeing a place, the part that is about feeling what it would mean to live differently, to move at a different pace, to understand beauty as a daily practice rather than an occasional reward. From the ancient ruins of Ayutthaya to the lantern-lit sky above Chiang Mai, from the gilded halls of Bangkok's royal temples to the limestone lagoons of the south, every place in Thailand gives you something that you carry with you long after you have left it behind. A warmth, a flavor, a light on water, A sound in the early morning that you will try unsuccessfully to remember exactly, and that will come back to you at unexpected moments for the rest of your life. Thailand reminds us that the most extraordinary journeys are not measured in distance. They are measured in what they leave inside you when they are over. If this journey moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because the world is full of wonders, and your next adventure is already waiting to begin.